Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are on chapter 8, Attaining the Supreme, text 4. Adhibhutam sharo bhavaha purushascha devatam adhiyagyo ham evatra dehe deha vritam vara. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adhibhut, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods, like those of the sun and moon, is called Adideva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in the heart of every embodied being, I'm called Adiyagya, the Lord of Sacrifice. So Krishna is saying what is Adibhut, Adideva, and Adiyagya. Krishna is declaring it. I am the Supreme Lord. I am the Paramatma. No one else says it. He's saying it. I am the Paramatma in your heart, in the heart of every embodied living being. Embodied means why? Because we have a material body right now. In our original form, we do not have a material body. Our original form is spiritual, which is covered right now by this material body. So the physical nature is constantly changing. We see the material world constantly changing. The water is there in the ocean. It evaporates, becomes clouds. Then the clouds comes down as rain again. So constantly changing. Material bodies generally pass through 6 stages. They're born, they grow, they remain for some duration. They produce some byproducts, they dwindle, and then they vanish. This physical nature is called Adhibhut. So we can see our own bodies. We had baby bodies, then we had child bodies, then we had kind of, adult, kind of a young body. Then we had some byproducts. Some of us had some children. Then starts getting older, the body starts getting older. You get wrinkles, get wrinkles, the hair starts getting white, can't see properly, the dwindling starts. Then at one time, we have to give up this body. So the material body is changing, material nature is changing. Even we see the flowers, it's a bud, then slowly, slowly the bud will open, grow, it will become a full-bloomed flower. Then it will start deteriorating. So this is the material nature, Adhibhut. It is created at a certain point and it will be annihilated at a certain point. So this is the material nature. The conception of the universal form of the Supreme Lord, which includes all the demigods and the different planets, is called Adidevata. So the universal form of the Lord, the Virat Purush. Those who are not able to understand that God is a person can pray to this Virat Purusha, the universal form of the Lord that Krishna shows to Arjuna. In the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is. There's mention of the universal form, how the Patal Lok, they are the soles of the feet. Then the earthly planets are the waist. Then the higher planets are the head. The clouds are the hair of the universal form. The hair on the body of the universal form are the trees and the plants. The rivers are the veins. The ocean is his abdomen. So all the demigods, all the planets, everything includes in this universal form of the Lord. And he's called Adidevata. And present in the body along with the individual soul is the super soul, a plenary representation of Lord Krishna. So we are the soul, individual soul. We are not the body, we are the soul. And sitting next to us is the Paramatma. So we are the Jivatma, we are not the body, we are the Jivatma. Sitting next to us is the Paramatma. Who is the Paramatma? Paramatma is a plenary representation of Lord Krishna. He's a partial representation of Krishna. He's a feature. Paramatma is a feature of Krishna. The Supersoul is called the Paramatma or Adiyagya and is situated in the heart. So there is not only one soul. The Jivatma is there, yes, but there is the Paramatma. Both are sitting in the heart. And the Paramatma is called Adiyagya. The word Eva is particularly important in the context of this verse because by this word, the Lord stresses that the Paramatma is not different from him. So the Paramatma is Krishna. We are not Krishna. We are not the Paramatma. We are Jivatma. Or so some of us may think, okay, right now I'm Jivatma, but after I get liberated, I will become Krishna. I will become Paramatma. No, we can never become the Paramatma. We can never become Krishna. We always remain Jivatmas. What we have to do is we have to get rid of this material body, get rid of thinking that I'm the body, and be situated in the correct thinking that I am a spirit soul, and be situated on that platform. I'm part and parcel of Krishna. I have a loving relationship with Krishna. So the Supersoul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, seated beside the individual soul, is the witness of the individual soul's activities and is the source of the soul's various types of consciousness. So who is witnessing all our activities? The Paramatma is witnessing. He's the witness. You know, as like there's a crime scene happening and then we say, who's the witness? So who's the witness of all our activities in the material world? We say, no, nobody's here. I'm alone in the room. Nobody's watching me. We forget Paramatma is in our heart and he is watching us. And because he is conscious, we are conscious. Why? Because we are part and parcel of the Paramatma. The Supersoul gives the individual soul an opportunity to act freely and witnesses his activities. You know, it's like you leave a child loose. Then the mother from far away will look what my child is doing. It's like that. The functions of all these different manifestations of the Supreme Lord automatically become clarified for the pure Krishna conscious devotee engaged in transcendental service to the Lord. So Krishna says that I can be understood only by devotional service. One who engages in devotional service can understand Krishna. So if we want to at all become Krishna conscious, we want to get self-realized, we need to engage in devotional service. Then all the knowledge Krishna will reveal to us from our heart. He is sitting in our heart as Paramatma, and he will reveal the knowledge in our heart. We simply have to engage in devotional service, which begins by hearing and chanting. The gigantic universal form of the Lord called Adidevata is contemplated by the neophyte who cannot approach the Supreme Lord in his manifestation as Supersoul. The neophyte is advised to contemplate the universal form of Virat Purush, whose legs are considered the lower planets, whose eyes are considered the sun and the moon, and whose head is considered the upper planetary system. So if we are not able to understand that God is a person, then we are advised to understand how the Patal-lok, the hellish planets, they are the feet of the universal form of the Lord. The earthly planets are his waist. The sun and moon are his eyes. As we were saying, the rivers are the veins and the blood vessels in his body. The ocean is his abdomen. The clouds are the hair on his head. The trees and the plants are the hair on his body. The great mountains are his bones. You know, like this. So at least we can begin to understand that God is a person. Yes. And we can easily understand God when we engage in devotional service, which begins by hearing and chanting. And that's the reason the devotees constantly encourage us to continue to hear and chant. Hear from the devotees and chant in the association of devotees. Is that okay? Any questions or comments? If no, then we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki